moving on to another factor. And this is a factor that existed and was abused like crazy. This is the most abused factor there is, which is link building. It's an off-page factor. So basically what it is are other people linking to you and who are you linking to? And more than who you're linking to, it's are other people linking back to you. Okay? And Google would rank you based on that. So earlier what used to happen is you used to get huge amount of rank increase by just creating links. So people started linking to you, you could buy them before, and if they were higher page rank links, then you would get huge boost. But the last update, they've changed. I mean, not last, I think a couple of updates ago, they've changed all that. Today, it does matter, but it's very little. And today, they look if the links are relative or not. Okay? So now, they look at the link quality. What is the quality of the link? Okay? Now, they don't want to count everything. So you could have 100 links, people linking to you, 100 of them. But they will only count the ones that are relative and there are quality links, meaning they're also a true site. They also have good content. Okay? So earlier you could just do numbers. Today, this is not about numbers anymore. It's about the quality of the link.
We learned something from you some time back. I can't remember which day. I believe that a lot of sites are beginning to fall back on ad revenues to build up their overall revenue structure. We were talking about, I think Flipkart has got into advertising and all that. Now, considering that surplus of excessive advertisements are spoiling your ranking, so there is a conflict here. So how does one overcome that?
It's about excessive. It's not about not having ads. Google does not want your whole page full of ads. If you go to certain sites, they're not giving you anything. All they've done is just put ads everywhere. That is what excessive ads are.
But looking at a Flipkart or Amazon, where they would obviously require a huge number of ads to have any substantial contribution to the revenue. So how are they going to map it out? As in, they are going to carry it across different pages?
Yes, different pages, ads will change, right? So if the page is coming up 10 times, the ad will keep on changing. Okay, the ads will refresh. Okay, so it's not about how much landscape they're taking, right? So they'll take little, but the ads will refresh more often. Okay. Now, link quality also has to do, the people that are linking back to you, how authoritative are they? So if they're an authority and they're linking back to you, you're going to get a huge boost. So let's say there's a very famous food blog, right? And people come to that food blog all the often, right? Now, if that food blog links back to you and let's say you're selling some food product, it's going to help you a lot. Okay? Versus somebody just linking back to you, let's say your supplier linking back to you. That may not. But if that food blogger is linking back to you and they're an authority on food, let's say, yes, it will help you a lot. Okay? Now, a lot of news site, etc., if they link back to you, that's also a lot of help because it's going to increase your ranking again. So news sites, any large news networks, etc., that's why a lot of people like to get articles so that they can get these links back. Okay? Okay. Now, it's also not about the link itself, but what is that text that you're linking to and from, the anchor text? Does it relate to your keywords? Okay? Because if it doesn't, then why, it kind of tells Google that everything is not matching. So ultimately, your strategy has to be all same. Right? So if there is a link back, let's say let's use Amazon for an example. Right? If there's somebody linking to them, right, on their books category, that's a books reviewer or whatever, right? And that anchor text talks about books, it will help them more. Because the keyword of that whole page is going to be around books. Okay? So not only is it the link, the quality of that link, but what is that text that you're linking back from? The anchor text. Okay? So Google, okay, the reason that it's important is that Google is going to look at that as a description. So when it's on the other side, how does it describe the link? It needs some description about ultimately what it's linking to, right? And that's what they use as description. And as such, they count it. Okay? Now, obviously, this used to be a very big thing, number of links. Can I have thousands and thousands of links? It still counts a little bit, but not as important as it used to be. So yes, it does matter if you have 100 links or more or whatever, but thousands and thousands of links just doesn't matter anymore. So the quality and the anchor text used are more important than are just the links, the quantity of the links. Okay? The other thing that in the number of links is if one site is linking to you like 10 times, it really doesn't matter. To Google, that's like 1. So what people do is that find one person that linked back to you 800 times. To Google, it still counts as 1.
So can you share an example of link? Like I'm not getting like what site links or example will be better.
So let's assume that what industry do you want to be in? I forgot. Healthcare. All right. So let's say that there is a blog that talks about healthcare, right? Talks about how to keep yourself healthy and charged up in the morning, etc. Now imagine that they have a anchor text and a link back to your site. Whenever they say, you know what, if you want to live a healthy life, make sure that you carry this app on your phone because when you need to do this, this is what. So now when they're linking back to you, because they're going to give a link to your app or your site, that's what the link is. Okay? And it's relative because they're talking about the subject. They give you an anchor text that makes sense for your keywords. Okay? Now, plenty of sites will go out and buy links. If Google figures that out, they're going to penalize you. And it used to not be such a big penalty. Now it's huge. If they figure out that you're buying links, they'll kick you out. Okay? So there's an example. Again, Google banning itself, right? So there's an example that I read that Google Japan had done something like this for buying. They bought links. Google Japan. So Google, the company, banned Google Japan. Said, listen, we can't buy links. I mean, nobody can buy links. So they banned Google Japan. There's another example. If you heard of a retailer in the US called JCPenney. So JCPenney, back a few years ago, did the same thing. They got caught buying links. And they're a huge, huge brand. Okay? Google banned them for 3 months. For 3 months. And by the way, the Google Japan guys, they got banned for 11 months. Okay? Can you imagine they banned their own companies just for I mean, it's good that if somebody violates, it doesn't matter who it is, they get banned. But I'm just giving you an example. They don't leave anybody. So if we think that we'll do something and they'll let us go, it doesn't work. They will, if they ban Google Japan and if they ban JCPenney, they'll come after you also. All right. Again, link spam. So I just said links, we have to have a certain number of links and all of that. There's a huge penalty if you are just spamming with links. So if you go, like he had pointed out, and go to social media and start posting your link everywhere yourself, that's called link spamming. And you get penalized for it. There's no gain, but you do get penalized. Okay? So you can't go around every website, post your link, go to Quora, post your link, go to Facebook, post your link, and everywhere just keep on posting your link for no reason, which is called link spamming. There's a huge penalty. Okay? There was an update, which if you guys heard of, called Penguin. Like there was Panda, Penguin, whatever. This was Penguin that actually made this change. Okay? Since that update, if you're spamming through links, they're going to penalize you. And it's severe, meaning they'll kick you out of Google. I think this is our last or second last factor to look at. And I think somebody even mentioned this, right? What happens when it's localization, right? So yes, like you mentioned. So this is another off-page factor, right? Personalization and localization, right? What can you do with it? So obviously, country is a big plus. If you're able to have content and everything around the country you're targeting, it's obviously going to do well for you. Okay? And again, this is one of the easiest factors, right? Because somebody that's searching in UK versus somebody in the US or somebody in India is going to search differently and they're going to look for different things. So if your site, if your content is country specific, then it serves well. Okay? And if you're trying to do international, by the way, this is another way. You can actually have different content targeted towards different countries. And Google will start picking that up for you. Okay? Even locality. So search engines don't stop at being just a country, right? You can actually personalize at the local level. Okay? They'll tailor your results based on your city, based on the area you're in. Okay? So if you want city-specific results, you can also get that, right? That's all part of your SEO. You can actually tell Google that, listen, I am Mumbai Andheri based. And the results can actually work for you better because it'll be very specific to that particular locality. Okay? Personal history.
Sorry, one question. Is localization proportionately more expensive?
No. It's what your target is. Remember, this part of our strategy was your goal, your target, and your competition. So what is your target? Right? That's all. So obviously, there's a smaller set you're going after. So you're in e-commerce, you may not want to. You may not want localization too much. You may want more India play, or you may want even beyond India play. But if, let's say, you're in very specific business of where you're not selling in e-commerce, but you have a shop, a local shop, then your localization makes all the sense to you. Because you know what? Nobody from Kanpur is going to come to your shop. Right? Only people in Mumbai are going to come to your shop. And even not in Mumbai, maybe a 10-kilometer radius is where they'll come from. So localization becomes very important when it comes to all of that.
Yeah, so the point is therefore that if I'm adding additional filter of localization, let's say Andheri West or Malad West, then it is not an additional cost to me, right? That's the question, therefore.
Yes. There's no additional cost. Yes, you're right.
With the same thing which you're talking about, localization, basically I think Google has a page now. They have started with Google Business page. Over there you can just go ahead and register yourself. The process which I just followed for one of my client who is into restaurant and in a particular area only in Andheri. So they give you a time frame of 7 days to verify it properly. Does it belong to you, or you can claim it just in case if somebody else has it. So they send you a verification code through mail and all, and you can get it done. Having said that, is it limiting again your business to that particular Andheri area, or like if you want?
So you can create whatever localization you want. You can be area specific, or you could be city or country, whatever you want to do. You can even be state. Let's not just say country, city, whatever. You can actually create that area yourself, right? By talking about what areas you service, etc. So it doesn't have to limit to one area. It can be a city, it can be country, whatever. Right? The localization and all, it's actually customizable to you. Okay? Personal history. Okay, what is personal history? And how is it important to your SEO? Okay? Personal history basically is, as all of you visit websites, there's a history being built. How many times you're going to those websites? How many times you visit them? Etc. Right? That's history being built. You know what? SEO has an effect by that also. So if a site is something that's more important to you because you've been going to that type of site or that site often, in your search results, automatically that site will start to move up. Google has gone beyond just giving you results generally. They're actually looking at your personal history and giving you results based on that also. Okay? So it's no more ranking based on just factors, but it will also look at what your history looks like. What did you like? What did you not like? How often have you visited a website or that type of website? And your results will all change based on that. So today, personal history is just as important as any other factor. So if you do a good job as a business for people to like you, then you know what? For those customers, you're always going to be above others because they've spent time with you, they know you as a brand, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So Google has now personalized to the level of a person. So you can see it on your own browsers, right? Log into any of your Gmail accounts and then start browsing on Google. And start clicking on, let's say, sites that are third or fourth in the results, okay? Or maybe later. And then spend time on that site. Now go back to your results and see. You'll see that thing moving up. Google will customize the results on your personal history also. So as a site or as owners, our job is to make sure we become engaging enough and important enough for people to engage so that next time you're actually above. And what happens is, as more and more people make that site important, obviously the overall SEO also gets better for you, because that means you're an important site.
Particular keyword, the result be shown to me and to any other person would be different
They
depending
can
on-
be, based on where you're located, based on what your personal history is. Okay?
This is what is personal.
Yes.
My personal history, I mean, which sites I have visited, how much time I've spent on
Yeah, and if you've been to this site before, did you like the site? Like to Google means did you get engaged to that site? Did you spend time on that site? If you did, it will put that result higher automatically. Okay, and this is something that Bing is also doing, right? It's moving things up based on personalized. Okay, all right. So one last factor within this one. What are your social connections? You know, one of the things I mentioned, 90% of all sales are socially influenced. So what Google has done is said that let's actually factor that in. So now what happens is, based on your connections, your social connections, the rankings can also change. Okay? So for instance, let's say your friend liked a restaurant. Right? For whatever reason, somewhere on social, they like that restaurant. Google is going to somehow pick that up. And based on that, if you search for a restaurant, that restaurant will get higher rankings. So not only is it your personal history, but now it's starting to look at your social connections. What do your friends say? Right? Because if they like a particular recipe, let's say you're making pasta or some type of pasta and they like a recipe, when you search for a recipe, that recipe will come higher. Okay? So now what's happening is beyond just the factors of our pages, our content, etc. It's going way beyond that, and they're looking at not just your history, but also your friend's history. Okay? Clear? So it's very important to find a few people for your brand also that are very well connected and see if they can somehow engage with the brand. Because if they do, then your rankings will be affected. Okay? Now,
Sir, one minute. I didn't get it. That means the more social connections you have, the more people visit your website. That
no.
the ranks goes up or?
No, this is about ranking. So let's assume, like I gave an example. Let's say that some business is a restaurant business. I don't know, maybe it's his business, he's running a restaurant, and he's got himself listed in the search engine. Okay? Let's say you and him are connected as friends on social somewhere. He decides to search for a Chinese restaurant. And he likes it, so he actually likes it, let's say on Facebook, or he writes a good thing about it or whatever. When you search for a Chinese restaurant next time, that Chinese restaurant will get a higher ranking. So because he's your friend, and if you had asked him, he would have also told you the same thing, right? So Google is just doing it for you. Not just Google, but Bing and all these other guys are also starting to do all of this. Okay, so now got it? You had a question?
Does it also mean like influencer activity? Like
Yes, correct. That's what's happening, right? The influencers have just a lot more connections, and as such, rankings obviously get affected by those influencers, yes.